my timer is set at 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So let's begin. So I would like to point out that it is true that the negative team does not have to have the burden of proof, but since the affirmative team brought up that we don't have any evidence, we are just talking based on common sense. Well, it is in fact that I actually do have proof, but I don't even need to Here, I'll read the proof. The proof is that under Clause 7 of Rule 15, motions to place the following measures of the consensus calendar have been filed on September 10, 2025. So, the consensus calendar has already been used less than 2 months ago, but my partner has already brought that up. So, as the negative team, we have 3 ways to counter the affirmative team's plan. The first is topicality, the second is significance, and the third is common sense. In my speech today, I will flesh out these 3 points again. The first is using common sense, because if the affirmative team's plan can just be taken down and its problem is actually not that significant, just by using common sense, you know that it is not significant. I talked about the significance in my 2 and C, and Maddie has brought up that our plan is actually not about corruption, but it is about free speech. And if you notice closely, the affirmative team changed their biggest harm, the harm that has been driving this entire debate. See, I have their first affirmative constructed right here, and it says, when bipartisan oversight is limited, it leads to committee decline and opens the door to significant corruption through limited bipartisan and minority debate. See, the affirmative plan's entire significance is tied on the fact that when bipartisan oversight is limited, that is for both sides, it leads to committee decline and corruption through minority debate. As I said in my previous speech, the lack of information on both sides actually makes it fair. So there's no such thing as corruption. This tackles the significance. Finally, my 3rd point of target is topicality. I would like to respond to Maddie's claim in his last speech that just by adding something to the Congress is actually a form of reform these days. That's how people add to Congress step by step. But you must remember that that is not the mission statement that we have right now. The statement is that the government should significantly reform Congress. And this, as you can agree, is not significantly reforming Congress. Okay. Really, all in all, as the negative team, we have hit 3 of the main points: topicality, significance, and reasoning. With all 3 points hit, I hope you can agree that there's no need to significantly reform Congress. And that is why my partner and I stand for it. There is no need to significantly reform Congress. Thank you.